Hello, everybody! Listen, if you're going to fake an illness, make it one that people aren't going to be super mad at you for. Pick herpes. Welcome back to the Breakroom. It's me, Tommy B, and today we're talking about the sci-fi show that asks us, should we be a civilization anymore? Or should we just, retreat back into caves and start drawing erotica with stick figures,
Some of us still do that.
Yeah, that sounds like a
that's
delightful
still
weekend.
a viable lifestyle option.
That's true.
Cave guy with wall porn.
Yeah.
Cave guy with wall porn
I've
is...
seen him on many dating apps.
Oh, God. What a nightmare hellscape. Of course, we're talking about Black Mirror. Yes, it's fiction, or is it? We might have said Zach was going to be joining us here today, but guess what? I lied to you because I don't respect any of you. It's well documented that I think most of you are garbage. I call you my trash bags. I accuse you of living in dumpsters. But sometimes those accusations, they bear fruit because I see some of you in person. And let me be honest. You look like shit. All right. No, kidding, of course. We appreciate all of your subscriptions and donations. Let's talk about my friends here. To my right, seated at the right hand of the Father, of course. You may remember her from 2 days ago. It's Ginny Polito.
Hey.
And to my left, just a delightful man making his Breakroom debut. Give it up for Bird! Yes.
That's the most energy I'm going to have for the next hour.
You know what? This isn't a high-energy show. I'm not a high-energy guy normally. I'm wearing a polo to let you know I'm in charge today. Did you put mine? Oh, I'm Tommy Bechtold. I said that, right? If you don't know, do a Google search. Don't use the word shirtless next to it, though, because there's stuff out there I don't like people to see.
Yeah.
Now, we're going to talk about the first 2 episodes of Black Mirror. We'll be back next week to talk about the rest of the eps as well. Oh, my God, I didn't know I agreed to that. Hang on, roll that prompter back up. I want to say that again. So we're going to talk about the first 2 episodes today, and then next week, a whole new team of hosts will break down the rest of the season. No, I'm kidding. Of course, I love my job here, and I can't wait to experience existential dread on a technological level.
It's nice to be used to experiencing existential dread at work and then be asked to experience existential dread at work. Like, it's just nice synergy.
Yeah, you might as well get paid for your existential dread.
Yeah,
Most people don't.
That's what I love about this place. We can walk out of a meeting where I already feel like there's no promise for tomorrow. And then we can talk about... No, I'm just kidding. It's great here. We all have personalized surfboards. Okay, let's talk about episode 1. Joan is awful. Okay, so this is all about AI and simulations.
Yes.
Personally, this is supposed to be a negative thing for people, that you could have your image taken by a streaming service and have a show created around you. This is my dream.
Yeah.
This is as a vain narcissist, all I ever think is that I'm at the center of the universe and that everybody secretly has all eyes on me. And guess what? They're going to recast with an AI attractive actor. That's what's happening in this episode, guys. We have the titular Joan. I knew it was a 1-syllable 4-letter J
Close,
name.
so
Honestly,
close.
you got most of the vowels.
Joan is awful, and Joan, we first meet Joan as played by Annie Murphy from Schitt's Creek, of course, and Kevin is Kevin is dad.
Kevin can go F
Kevin can go F himself. It only took me 3 tries, didn't get it right. Both of you did know it. But I know her, of course, as Alexis from Schitt's Creek.
Yes.
And she is a very funny actress, and she is awful.
Yeah, she plays a truly awful character.
Yeah.
Not awful in real life. Sorry, apologies to Annie Murphy and all Canadians. Joan is awful.
Yeah. I mean, I will say, like, she's not awful.
Yeah,
she's average awful.
Yeah, she's awful in the way like a lot of people might be awful, that you could go like, oh, yeah, I mean, I guess it's not great.
Right.
Yeah.
You know what it is? I think it's the extracurricular criticisms. Like at her therapist's appointment, she gets a coffee, and they ask her about the coffee, and she's like, "Well, I've always dreamed of owning a coffee shop, and if this was something I made, I wouldn't put my name on."
Yeah, it's just like you can just have the coffee.
Yeah.
You don't got to tell her that.
It reminds me of a friend I had in college who, like, we would all, you do the thing with your friends where you're quoting movies, and I went to college during the heyday of, like, the frat pack Will Ferrell comedies, and, like, we'd be quoting Anchorman, and my friend would have to correct if you missed a single syllable of the quote. They'd have to correct you, and it's like often in situations where you're like at a party trying to make people laugh, and I remember being like, "Hey, you don't have to correct me if no one's being hurt." Yeah. Like if I'm saying like this is the way to get to the hospital if you're ever having a stroke or heart attack and I give the wrong directions, yes,
please
butt in there.
Yeah, take the time out of your. I mean, little did that guy know that 20 years later there would be a Netflix episode that made you think about him being awful.
I think about him
we
all
all
the time.
agree Tommy is the Joan of the break room.
And guess what? You've made my day with that statement.
Tommy doesn't care if he's awful. As long as he's the center, he can be awful. He can be terrible.
So the arc of Joan is awful is we have Joan, who is awful, finds out when she goes home that day there's a stream buried, not Netflix, but basically Netflix.
Yeah.
Has all of the visuals of Netflix, and it has the kakung, as my 1-year-old nephew says. Kakung, that means he wants to watch little baby bums.
Okay.
And she finds out that her life is being made into a frighteningly accurately depicted show, and it's revealing all her secrets to her boyfriend and this infidelity, which is awful. That sucks. She shouldn't.
I mean, you know what? They smooched, which like is not okay. You're not gonna kick anyone off an improv team over it, though.
No,
right?
God, no. You're not gonna get fired from here.
Yeah, you're gonna be like, well, they kissed, but there's not anything actionable.
Yeah, and then it spirals out of control in the way that Black Mirror does.
Yes.
And it winds up with her taking a very memorable dump in a church.
Yes.
Because I've seen a lot of shows where there's a dump in a church, and then someone mentions it years later, and I'm like, oh, I guess that did happen on West Wing, or whatever. But this one is like a pretty good,
You're going to remember where you were. Yeah. When Annie Murphy took that dump in that church.
Yeah, and she really committed too. Like she's, I like when a hot lady really commits to a public dump.
Yes, agreed. I often seek that out on the weekends. I think, did someone say "oh no" audibly?
We got no from the Peanut Gallery on camera.
Did Twitch just cut the stream?
Just an "oh no."
God damn. Yeah, I think we also. It's kind of like.
Oh wait, it's in the middle of a wedding too. We really buried the lead there. It is at a church. Yes. There is a dump happening, but it's also in the middle of
a wedding.
A stranger's wedding vows, which is like
remember. It's one of the memorable things about it. Genuinely, she's got a dick drawn on her forehead.
Yeah, it's great. You're always gonna remember your wedding anniversary because of the time that lady took a dump in the middle of it.
And this is nothing personal to anyone who's ever invited me to their wedding, but often the particulars of the wedding are forgettable. The crazy drunken uncle fighting a groomsman on the dance floor. You remember that stuff.
Yeah.
You remember the dumps in church. It's all about hanging. When you're on your deathbed, 145 years old because of future technology that we see in shows like Black Mirror, and you're doing that highlight reel of your life, what are you going to think about? Birth of your children, that first kiss with someone you really love, and then you're going to think about a woman in a cheerleading costume with a dick drawn on her forehead, sashaying into church.
With an air horn.
Blowing an air horn, popping a squat, and letting it rip.
Yeah.
Yeah. And probably the biggest dump anyone has ever taken ever.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't
want to
belittle anyone's dumps out there.
Hard disagree, Gina. You don't know my life. You don't know my struggles.
I recently, the real Breakroom fans know my personal physician, Dr. Nasty, has been replacing my organs with animal organs for the last few years in order to create the perfect specimen. I have rabbit intestines, so my dumps are quite petite.
Oh, like little pellets?
Yeah.
Oh, that's so...
I like that.
Yeah.
Honestly, I would love that.
Consider it.
Well, I can give you a referral. He's very expensive, and he's hard to track down.
So, yes. and then to cut to the Black Mirror chase of it all, it turns out this is all a simulation. Yes. And Annie Murphy turns out that she knows she's being simulated by a digital representation of Salma Hayek. Salma Hayek and Annie Murphy team up to find out that they are both deeper order digital representations of Source Joan, who is the original person that Streamberry made the show about. We find out we've been living in fictive level 1. Thanks to a fun cameo by noodle slurping Michael Cera.
And that's outside of the role. That's just his everyday.
He showed up on set like that. He refused.
Mr. Cera, please.
Yeah, I'm doing it with the noodles.
Always have noodles.
We're getting some bad audio. I don't care. Do you know who I am?
And everyone's playing themselves. And I think it's interesting because the base level Joan is not famous. So imagine what that audition was like, where you get the audition notice and it's like, no one can recognize you. You have to look like an average person who's never acted before, but we also want you to be an actor.
We're going to actively compare you in succession to Annie Murphy, Selma Hayek, and Cate Blanchett. And everyone's going to specifically talk about how good they look. Then we're going to show them you. At the end of the episode, and we want that moment to feel like a letdown. So, anyways, you got the part. Congrats! Mom, being an actor is so brutal.
I got my first acting job.
It reminds me, if I may go into an anecdote of the time casting emailed me to ask me, does your skin fold over your chest enough that we could hide a tattoo under one of your man boobs? And I was like, it actually doesn't. I can't believe this. But it actually won't be able to do that. I'm so sorry, I'm not gross enough for you. And they're like, I think we can still make this work. And I was like, I guess I can. If I had any self-respect, I'd say no to this. But goddamn, I love working. And I love this town. Speaking of loving this town, let's hear what the chat comments are all about. A lot of people saying hi to Berg and Gina.
Hi.
Hello.
Spidey Sensei 72 says, yay, Gina's back. Woo. Tyler with an O says, Berg, a single named individual.
Yeah, I'm the Cher of New Rockstars.
That's right. I was going to say Prince, but Cher is
I would take Prince too.
Hi, Maggot Blazin. Maggot's just kind of a sad, aggressive word. I don't think it's problematic in any way.
Could be a Slipknot fan.
Oh, yeah.
Could be a Slipknot fan.
I'll stick my fingers into my eyes. That's them, right?
I go with Wait and Bleed.
Yeah.
That's my, or People Equal Shit.
Oh, I'm sorry, but by the way, this guy is a doctor. Dr. Blazin here. Was Iceberg your nickname in high school? Wow, just not a lot of Black Mirror questions, a lot of just personal inquiries about the...
that's because they're like, something about a simulation. We're going to make everyone feel like they're in a simulation where they're the focus of this.
I will tell you what my nicknames in high school were, and they were not flattering.
Mm-hmm.
No.
Large one.
Whoa.
Fat and chubby.
Whoa.
Chunk.
Whoa. Wow. And now it makes sense why you're on a piece of exercise equipment at every meeting that we have.
My whole life on a treadmill.
Oh my God.
Can't go back to that.
Was it because you got an acting role and they asked if you could fold your titty over your tattoo?
No, just these solid B cups. Sorry, guys. I'll try. I mean, gravity will pull them down eventually.
You'll get there.
They can recast.
Let's get you a hidden tattoo.
I'm sorry they sit pretty, guys. I didn't ask for this rack. Anyway, let's get to the big questions.
Yes.
Guys, we're all in the entertainment industry, allegedly. The digital privacy right and likeness thing, for me, it's already an emerging issue. I have gotten letters in the last 2 months, or written letters, emails.
Dearest Tomuel.
Yes, dear. I have missed our time together, but the war has ripped this country in two. No, I've gotten individual emails from my manager and my agent, not to brag, but I have both because I like to pay double the money on jobs. Saying do not, if a audiobook recording company approaches you, do not sign over your voice likeness because you're going to go in and say 500 words. You're going to get a check for like $2,500, and they will have the rights to your voice in perpetuity. Now, when we sign these contracts, a contract in the entertainment industry, the wording can be pretty funny. It'll be like
in perpetuity.
In perpetuity.
Throughout the universe.
Throughout the universe is the one I was thinking of. This is the one that always gets me. So it's like, if there is an alien movie executive on planet Glarbnob, and he's like, I want to use that guy's voice, he's going to have to get a hold of swank audio recordings and license my voice. And, there are instances of, I think we were talking about Bruce Willis the other day, where like this is a person who can't act anymore and has a pretty debilitating illness they're going through, and they sell their very famous Bruce Willis likeness and voice
as a way to stay alive,
as a way to keep their thing alive and make their family a nice chunk of money. I think he got something like 50 million or maybe even 100 million. And it's like, you know what? Hard to argue against that type of
that use case seems like it makes sense.
But preying on, as you know, most industries, it's not the gold miners that are making the money. It's the people selling the jeans and the shovels in the general store, preying on young performers or less famous performers who $2,500 is a lot of money to, is pretty predatory. And in this case, and in this show, this is just a terms of service agreement.
Yeah, this is one of those, and I'm guilty of it. This is one of there's a plot point where they didn't really know what they were signing because it comes up on your phone and you're like, whatever, agree. Just show me my article about the best looking foods in Miyazaki movies, for God's sakes. I'll agree to anything.
Yeah, except all cookies. I mean, that's kind of so. I used to work for a mobile game company in a former life, and while I was working there, the EU, who is much more proactive about going after tech and privacy stuff specifically, passed the GDPR, and it decimated our business model because now we're like, we can't collect secret data anymore. And it was like, that we shouldn't have been doing that in the first place.
We can't mine people's personal lives.
We can't fool anyone any longer. It's like, I don't know, guys. But it is a thing where it's like, hey, have you really agreed to this? If they're forcing you to go through it because you installed an update?
Yeah. It's you have to click on yes. And then they can do whatever they want with you. There was a guy online who asked me for pictures of me yawning, and I was like, I know what you're gonna do with those, sir. So no, you will not
sandwich
get.
ads.
Yeah, exactly. It's like I want a Subway,
little biscuits flying in.
footlong Subway sandwiches in there.
By the way, guys, just DM me. I got a whole catalog of them for everybody at this office.
Yeah, a lot of yawners.
Yeah, I catch everyone yawning, and I go, whoops-a-daisy. Yawnful-stiltskins at it again.
Someone sweepy.
What I do is I turn down the oxygen levels in here and get everybody really tired. I put a lot of CO2 in.
Bert just did it. He just gave everyone permission. He just gave everyone permission.
Well, there was a while where I was pulling things out of the sky like this.
Yeah.
So,
you got it.
So then, another big example of AI de-aging is coming up in 2 weeks at Dial of Destiny.
Yeah.
Harrison Ford plays 3 different ages in that movie, and I will say, as a bunch of us got to see it last night for work, it looks better than pretty much every de-aging thing I've seen in a while. Now,
I've heard it looks good.
Yeah.
So we streamed a rewatch of Captain Marvel, Jay Washington and I, and that de-aging, because physically Samuel L. Jackson's body is so like the whoever the actor they put his face on is like so like what's the right word, wiry with those like fast twitch muscles of like. They're like
he's like a professional javelin tosser.
Yeah, exactly. He looks like a track and field athlete. Yeah, it's like, and then Samuel L. Jackson's face, it's just like they hadn't quite mastered. I mean, it's not that the movie came out a long time ago, but it's, same thing with season 2 of Mandalorian and with the Luke Skywalker reveal. It's like, this technology is amazing, but it's not quite perfect yet. And even in Dial of Destiny, there's a moment where the lighting kind of changes and like a light gets shined on Harrison Ford's face, and it's like in that moment you're like, they have not figured out how to transfer that smoothly.
It just looks like wax all
like it looks fine now, but 50 years from now we'll be like, oh man.
Yeah, it's like when you watch old movies and you're like, Bela Lugosi really has a lot lot of pancake makeup on. You know? But at the time, everyone's like, wow, he's dead.
Scary.
Oh my God.
How scary that vampire man is. Yeah. See, my problem with AI, like just taking my likeness, is that wouldn't it make you sad? Like, you know how all those people use filters on Instagram and they go into their bathroom and they look in the mirror and they're like, tears, single tears. Why am I not so? Yeah. Why am I not an autumn child?
It's in real time, Dorian Graying yourself.
Yeah.
The portrait is my face, and the mirror is my canvas.
Like Harrison Ford, goes to see the movie, and he's like, "Wow, I'm so hot. Look at how vulnerable I am." And then he goes home, and he's like, hot Harrison Ford flips on the light in his bathroom. And he's like,
there's a ghoul in my house.
It's Bela Lugosi.
All right, we have a question here from the chat. Ryan Painter says, How would you react if you were in Source Joan's shoes?
Oh, that's a good question. Ryan Painter has clearly seen the episode.
I would be deeply unsettled.
Yeah, I don't know how you go back to your normal life after that.
I don't think this is a bold stance. I don't think this is a spicy take, but like that's a true before and after moment where it's like if all of a sudden there was a Netflix series that blew up my life. I mean, going back to Mansers, my highest creative achievement.
Yes.
I got a phone call from my dad one day saying, "Hey, I was just speaking with your grandmother and she thinks she saw you sitting on a toilet on TV." And I was like, yeah, and even that was almost enough to make me go like, what am I doing with my life? And I chose to do that.
Right.
Yeah, for me that moment was I had done a sketch. We've all done sketch. Tommy and I have done sketches together.
Sure.
And my mom had just figured out Google. And she goes, "We typed your name in the computer and you came up." And I said, "Oh yeah, that's how that works." And she goes, "Do you know that there's a picture of you as a dominatrix?" And I said, "Yup." And then there's just a long pause, and she goes, "I assume it was for a skit."
Yeah. Like,
Be like, no, it wasn't for a skit, Mom. It was for a sketch. I'm a sketch comedian.
It's not the 1920s. We're not taking the train into Hoboken for peanuts and nickels.
Crying out loud, Matt. Well, you guys, lucky you for being attractive people because I live Joan's shoes every day. I've walked 1,000 miles in Joan's shoes. I could read you the casting breakdowns of the characters I auditioned for, and they would make a grown man fall to his knees. It's like, Barfo is the most unfuckable man on earth. He hasn't left his couch in 10 days. He is covered in Cheeto dust. If you try to kiss him, he'll fart. 2 scenes, 1 speech.
Yeah. Non-union.
Non-union actor will be required to hang full dong. But we're hoping it's tiny and weird looking. How would I react if I were in Joan's shoes, Source Joan's shoes? I would get up in the mirror, look in the mirror, and say, "Oh, it's another day in the pathetic life of Tommy Bechtold." Dr. Blazin says, "I heard it's been proven that as AI language model will constantly degrade in quality over time, and they become useless as they feed off and learn of AI-generated content." I think I became useless by missing some words in that. Can we scan that back and have someone who can read?
I can respond to this as someone who's very up. So Dr. Blazin says, "I heard it's been proven that as AI language models presumably grow or increase in popularity, they'll constantly degrade in quality over time and become useless as they feed off and learn off of AI-generated content."
So it's like it's like eating a copy of broccoli rather than eating real broccoli. By the end, you're just eating paper.
There's so most of the deep learning, ChatGPT and all that stuff is based off of neural nets, which have been around since the 70s, but only exploded in popularity in the past 10 years because of the high volume of data we've finally been able to feed them. Largely, and I shit you not, this is true, because of people tagging themselves in selfies and taking pictures of their cats. That's what led to all this.
I feel like Berg just came in his pants that he was allowed to explain.
Yes, I did. I did
on a show. Oh
my God!
Like, I've reached peak.
I need a wet nap or something.
Guys, get the bucket back. I know we said we weren't doing the bucket in season 2, but we're gonna have to bring the bucket back. Apologies to Andor.
But the idea is like, garbage in, garbage out, right? Like, even the progress we've made with ChatGPT and all that stuff that takes all the headlines and Midjourney and all that stuff, it comes at a hidden cost of legions of underpaid humans tagging and articulating what that data is in a way the machine can understand. So yes, in theory, if there was more algorithmically generated content out on the internet than there was naturally generated content, and that was all the AIs were learning off of, yes, that would be bad. But also a lot of the human generated content is trash. Try to read my daughter is 10. And she'll type things to me that are slang that I don't understand. I'll say something and she'll just respond back with material gorl. And I'm like, I don't know if this is an insult.
Yeah,
I think it is.
To me, it all started when Livy rizzed up Baby Gronk. But now, Baby Gronk's dad has been milkshake ducked And we're not sure if Baby Gronk is the new Drip King or the new Ick King.
Oh, I hate that I understood any of that.
Yeah, I didn't understand any of it, but I hate that how outside I feel of it all. We don't know. It's a long way of saying we don't know. We have no way of knowing. Don't believe anyone who says they know. They're full of shit.
Yeah. Well, you know who's not full of shit, you guys?
Who?
Lionel Corrado. Lionel Corrado? Lionel. That's got to be Lionel, right?
I'll take it as a Lionel.
I'm going to say it's Lion-O.
Oh.
If you were a source, Joan, which celebrity would you like to portray you in the fictional Level 1 show?
Oh, that's a good one.
Now,
level 1, they're still hot at Level 1.
Right. Annie Murphy was Level 1.
Right. Yeah, Level 1 is Annie Murphy.
She's gorgeous.
Yeah.
She's gorgeous.
But it was funny to me that the choices in celebrity were 3 women all beautiful, but in completely different ways.
Yeah, they look totally different.
Right.
They look like it's not just like, oh hey, who looks like you that's a celebrity. It's like Annie Murphy looks nothing like Salma Hayek, who looks nothing like Cate Blanchett.
Yeah.
So I don't know.
Also, not a bad thing, but how many packs of cigarettes do we think Salma Hayek has been smoking a day? For like her voice has now reached bordering on
No, that's not cigarettes.
Really?
That's
no,
sex.
I think that's husky. Yeah, I think that's
but she's always had a husky voice, but she's dropped an octave, and I like.
I think that's just age. I'm all for it, but I think it's just age.
Yeah.
I think in this situation, a cigarette is a performance enhancing drug.
Okay.
Husky voice is the performance.
Yeah,
True.
Kids watching this stream, won't sound like Salma Hayek.
Yeah, no.
But you will get her boobs, so...
Yeah, that's a trade-off.
That is scientific fact.
All right, listen, the point is, her voice is great. We ran a poll, and we bought a zoo. Would you give your digital likeness away for something cool? What is the cool thing?
Yeah.
58% said no, they're smart. 25% said maybe, they're dum-dums. 17% said yes.
Yeah, I'm in the maybe pile.
Really?
I have a price.
Oh, is it a Klondike bar?
Yeah, maybe. I mean, like, it's something cool is a pretty broad bucket, you know?
Like, if you were given like eternal life, like that's something cool.
Yeah, maybe, I don't know, or maybe that's just longer to sit around and watch my digital likeness, you know.
That's true.
Material girl.
Yeah, what is it? What is it? She won't tell me.
She can't
I'm
tell
862 ever since I made that deal for my digital likeness, and I still don't know.
I have been walking this earth for 2,000 years, and I've been rizzing up every Baby Gronk, and it always ends the same. Total annihilation.
I don't know what any of it means. I'm the most dad I've ever been when I'm talking to my daughter. It's crazy.
That's cool there, honey, huh? That's pretty cool.
Yeah.
I wish I could just text my dad, Material Girl, and he would respond at all, but he's had my number blocked.
It's just me going like, are you still into Olivia Rodrigo?
Yeah.
She's putting a new album out soon.
Yeah.
Tommy's dad went out to get a pack of smokes for Salma Hayek 45 years ago.
You know, I bet they know each other. My dad's kind of like the mayor. Algorithms in AI equal entertainment. So we've got Streamberry, which is obviously a proxy for Netflix, which is weird to me because Netflix is like, yeah, we know we're bad.
Yeah, I don't even think it's Netflix knows they're bad. I think the execs are like, what if we could really stick it to our corporate overlords?
Oh, sure.
Yeah, I mean, especially in the middle of, you know, the Writers Guild is striking now. SAG just authorized a huge strike vote. The Directors Guild might be scabbing. You know, but it is a huge concern in Hollywood right now. It's shutting down the entire industry for like over a month, and it's screwing up everyone's release timelines.
And also, Netflix are the ones who broke it. Netflix are the ones who broke the system. So the fact that this first episode of season 6 of this huge show for them, that they're like, we know we're little stinkers, is like very weird.
It's so weird, and it's such an interesting equation because on one hand, you know, I've done a lot of streaming shows, and those opportunities would not have existed for me even 10 years ago.
Yes,
I would just not be booking acting work. So I'm appreciative of that. But as someone who has tasted that sweet, sweet network money, it's like, wow.
What happened?
I did an episode of a show that won a bunch of awards, and I have never gotten a residual check for it. I've done an episode of like Jokey McFart Street on CBS, and I think
I wrote for that show.
Yeah, you did. You got me the part. I played Barfo on it.
Oh, he was the guy with the weird shrimpy baby dick that they had to CGI in because nobody's baby dick would look that shrimpy and weird.
They had to blue screen it, but also they covered it in Cheeto dust. So
but they also de-aged it so that it looked sort of like Harrison Ford.
Yeah.
Oh, shit.
Yeah, it's good.
All right.
It's good. Yeah, I like that show. That was a good show. They should make more of that show. That show needs a reboot.
Hey.
Quit trying to bring back Supernatural. Give me Jokey McFartdust or whatever it was called.
Yeah.
That's what it was called. So then we have the creative AI versus the guilds, the WGA, the DGA, SAG, and there's current concerns in a broad context. And it seems like the scary thing to me, and I, Gina has been on the front lines. Your girlfriend is a writer.
Yes. She was picketing today with our tiny dog, who's in good health.
Who we have to confirm is in good health because Berg traumatized
the entire office.
We don't like it when Berg makes jokes about his dog.
My dog is healthy and cute today.
And then I put on my mink coat and I was like, I liked the story. My concern is that the studios they're digging their heels so much in not bending on AI. Like they're like, which makes me believe if John, can you give me a swatch of tinfoil to put on my head? I think the reason they're digging their heels in so much is because they're already doing it.
I think the thing that lets you know exactly what they want out of AI is the very real show, Is It Cake?
Yeah.
So what happened with Is It Cake is there was a TikTok trend where all of a sudden everybody was making hyper-realistic cakes. I don't know why. It's like part of the sourdough weirdness of the pandemic.
Yeah.
And then someone at Netflix was like, all these cake videos get millions of views. What if we had a television show?
Yes.
And in the 3 months it took them to rush that to streaming, the trend had gone.
Yeah.
But if they had AI and they could mock up a pitch and a show in a week instead of 3 months, then all of a sudden they could really capture that. And that's what they want.
That's another plot point of the episode is that the show happens almost in real time.
Yes.
As Annie Murphy is living it, it comes out an hour later, so it's so fast, and they say, "Oh, this is possible because of AI and because your phone is listening to you." So as soon as you say it, it's on the TV.
And that was so. It's. I'll be honest. It's been a while since I'd watched Black Mirror. I mean,
Shame on you, sir.
Just in general, I have to watch it. I'm too fragile.
Look, British shows come out once every 16 years, and you will respect that.
I was too busy watching series 2 of Whence Rang the Bell Tower. Which is a dry little comedy about a church mouse.
Very good, Tommy.
Delightful.
Very good.
But
I almost choked. I appreciate you, sir.
I think I had forgotten. Like, in my mind, I was like, "Is this supernatural? Like, are there precogs that are?" I was like, "Oh no, it's AI. It's obviously AI." Wait, there's an important poll. I'm sorry, that just staggered me for a second.
What do you call a short comedic performance? 64% sketch, 64% of you are right.
Yeah.
36% of you said skit, 36% of you are my grandmother.
Yeah.
Also, unsurprisingly, I feel like that 36% is similar to people who would sell their likeness or maybe sell their likeness to AI.
I'll build a spreadsheet. I'll figure it out. We'll give it the Captain Numbers touch.
Well, Ryan Painter says he thinks I'm the new Drip King after being rizzed up by Berg and Gina.
What does rizzed up
Berg doesn't
mean?
know.
I don't know what rizzed up is.
Am I in an or Rizzo?
No one tell him. No one tell
Am I the
Berg.
cream in a Riz Oreo?
I saw some Tom Holland Riz meme today, and it just made me feel old.
He said he had limited Riz, and that he basically gaslit Zendaya into being in a relationship with him.
Berg has had a lot of highs and a lot of lows during this.
Yeah.
He got to explain a lot of real dorky things. He came in his pants, and then he was immediately brought crashing back down to earth.
I know. I've never felt so in sync and out of sync at the same time, and it hurts my head.
Well, all I got to say to that is, sheesh! Blake likes the Ducks. I said my cool thing was Tommy's love. Tommy, love me, please.
Okay.
Blake, I wish I could, but unfortunately my love is captured in a rose that loses a petal in each season. And once the final petal drops to the ground, I will be in this beast form forever. But I do love you. Almighty Ray, our real friend in real life, Ray Stakanis, says Salma Hayek smokes fools. Well,
okay,
I didn't know they were still selling fools at gas stations, but
oh, they are.
Pick me up. Can you get them in pouch form?
Oh yeah, you can. Yeah. Not in this state, but in Nevada.
Man, I love Nevada. You can do anything there. You can get a lighter that looks like a gun and a gun that looks like a lighter.
Yeah, you can get fools and salvia at gas stations in Nevada. That's the selling.
Paradise. It's a paradise.
Let's all get some kratom. Ryan Painter says, "How do you pronounce it? Streamberry or Streamberry?"
One of those is British, and the other's
Breed.
normal people.
Yeah.
Joan's awful streaming on Stream Breed tonight, Mum. Think I might have a cucumber sandwich, a croquette, and a spot of tea.
And no ice anywhere to be found. I want everything sitting out for days.
We'll have our From Whence the Bell Tolls viewing party later.
I'm gonna scroll ahead because we have a request for a picture of the dog. And as I pulled out my phone to pull one up, I had not one but two separate videos from my girlfriend that came in since the stream started of the dog.
Wow, this is like the show right now. It's happening in real time.
So here,
Look, we're getting a little producer John is gonna zoom in.
we're gonna zoom from John. Okay, all right. Let's see here. Is this
Real
can we
blurry.
see Tilda there?
Wow.
That's a very tiny Tilda. I'm gonna get you one where she's making a dumb face.
Guys, we'll try and get some Tilda content posted up on our Twitter page.
Yeah. We can make that happen for sure.
Don't worry.
Did Tilda consent to sell her likeness?
Absolutely not.
Yes.
Absolutely not. Okay, here we go. Here's a real. This gives you a full sense of what it is to own an elderly Chihuahua.
What a goofball.
Oh,
my God.
Look at that little face.
It's just this standing next to an open door, waiting for you to open the door for her to go out, like 18 hours
Gorgeous.
18 hours a day.
Well, you know what? I could talk about 18 hours a day. NerdRiot.shop.
Hell
You
yeah.
want to know why? Because they make the smoothest, coolest threads on all around the block.
Got some of these threads here.
You've seen us plug these Spider-Verse shirts before. Berg's got it in his hands.
Here we go.
Hang them up. Hang them
Look at this
out.
Spider-Verse shirt.
Look at them.
It's cool
Look
as
at
hell.
them.
Whoa.
It's cool as hell. Best movie of the year so far, in my opinion.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Agree.
Have a hard time thinking of what comes close.
What about that Sebastian movie with Robert De Niro as his dad? Also, right now you can check out our new line of merch. I think it's called the John Costa Story. Inspired by Secret Invasion. These shirts are hot off the presses. Show them, baby. They're in
Secret
my
Invasion
size, so I'm
shirt?
maybe wearing one of these.
Here we go. Look at
All right,
this.
whoa.
Who's a human and
Yes.
who's a scroll? We don't know.
An invasion is here. Feels
Yeah.
like a cool, campy 1960s sci-fi poster, in my
Yeah.
opinion. I dig it. I support
Yeah, it was starring Rowdy Roddy Piper.
it. yeah.
I came here
I'm all out of bubble
to
gum.
invade and kick ass, and I'm all out of invasions. Guys, NerdRiot.shop is the best way to support this channel besides Venmoing me directly at Tommy Dashiell. That is the second best way.
Tommy's our CFO.
Chief Fun Officer.
Going on the booze.
Tommy, we've told you many times that's not a binding legal title.
Well, then why is it in a plaque that I purchased on my desk? Support the channel, NerdRiot.shop, please. Check out all our options over at NerdRiot.shop. Episode 2 of Black Mirror took a darker turn, I'd say.
I will say this. I really enjoyed episode 2 of Black Mirror. It didn't feel like Black Mirror to me.
No.
Oh, I love
I
those
thought-
episodes.
Yeah.
I love those episodes of Black Mirror where you're like, where's the supernaturally element?
Fun
And you're like,
fake out.
you're just like, oh, it's just about the darkness of humanity.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, and like I want to be very clear. Like I thought this was a really well done episode.
Mm-hmm.
Like I thought the way things unraveled was really cool. But I did keep waiting for like that kind of Black Mirror, like, oi, Ven, you know they're listening to you. You know, like,
Yeah.
which I did not get.
Yeah. Not everyone is like that. Some are just like
Yeah.
the black part of this is the human soul.
Yeah, and every
we're
once in a
gonna
while you
make
get like a
really
San
think.
Junipero or something where
Yeah.
you're like, oh, I'm touched.
Yeah.
You know,
Yeah,
like
yeah.
this was not a touching one. This was just a darkest.
No,
Yeah, I like this one.
This one made me touch the remote to turn it off, touch the light switch, and then lay in bed like this.
Yeah.
But and I think interestingly, the first episode, albeit a frightening look into what is a current kind of situation, was a little more lighthearted.
Yeah,
right?
it ends
It was
sort
fun.
of on a positive note.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
and it was very funny throughout.
Right.
Yeah.
Also, in our discussion of Salma Hayek smoking, she had some killer lines.
She was.
Yeah,
She was
she's
so
great.
funny.
She's great.
She's so goddamn good.
Should we tell Kate, or what about Kate Blanchett? Fuck Kate Blanchett.
Yeah, just
Put that
very
on a
good.
shirt, you cowards.
Very good. Yeah,
So-
I should be yelling at you. You are yelling at me. You know?
Yeah, very fun. Yeah,
Very
and then,
funny.
And then it was a very distinct tone shift in the second one, which I liked because
Yes.
I like a little
Yeah, no,
dessert. I like a little dinner.
It was
Yum,
the
yum, 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 yum.
tone of the second one is more what I want from Black Mirror. The philosophy of the first one is normally you get both in the same episode.
Yeah.
Instead, it was a 2-course meal for us watching it.
So quick plot summary.
Yes.
Second episode, a kid and his girlfriend, documentary filmmakers, go to his mother's home and
they're students at uni, right?
I think they are still students.
Yeah, they're still students because they met in class, or he says, "Oh, she's also in my documentary class."
Yeah, or they're like recent grads or something, maybe.
Yeah.
Got an early to mid 20s vibe.
Okay.
But they go to his family's home in what seems like Bumblefuck Wales.
Yeah. I was thinking Scotland.
Yeah,
I think it was called Roosterfuck. I'm pretty sure it was on the town.
Yeah.
As long as we can all agree that fuck was in there somewhere.
Yes,
it was.
Yes,
Okay.
there was.
But it means something different in Scotland.
Yeah.
But also, there was a lot of fucking in this town, as established in the episode.
Not the fun
Not the kind you
No.
The kind that has power
you want.
tools involved. So, the kind of this episode, the thesis centers around the morality of true crime. Where do you guys stand on true crime? Are you an enjoyer of true crime? Does it give you a little icky feeling? Or
It gives me an icky feeling for the most part. However, I do think there are really great examples of it. And I think it's one of those things where it's like, it can be done ickily, it can be done well. Like, Meet Me in the Dark, the Michelle McNamara book is phenomenal and not icky, in my opinion.
Right.
This episode reminded me a lot of People Who Eat Darkness by Richard Lloyd Perry, which is also really phenomenal and using a particularly horrific crime to examine a justice system. And it's not, there are salacious details in it, but it's not that kind of like
exploitative.
Yeah, can you believe it? And I think that there have been a lot of recent instances on Netflix where families have come out afterwards and been like, hey, I didn't really love the way they portrayed me, a living person in the Dahmer documentary.
I don't know that they needed to spend money on like getting a Beach Boys song and doing like a stylized like B-roll. Like the point of I think the son of the tavern owner is to explain like, a lot of these turn into like brochures for the small towns.
There was kind of like a subversive's not the right word, but there was like a different angle, a different motivation other than like the justice of it coming from that character.
I love that. I did too. I was like, put this guy in everything.
Podrick Payne, the son of the tavern owner, you mean?
No, that was Podrick.
No, that wasn't Podrick?
Yes, it was.
Oh, you're right.
What?
He was so good.
But because that other guy was so tiny, he hulked over. Podrick had a bit of a Neville Longbottom glow up.
Yeah, I was gonna say I don't understand how British people
stubblier.
age. I don't understand how they age. Like I feel like British people have like a 5-year span where it's like, whoa, can you believe he was awkward and now he's hot? Oh, now he's just old. Okay, well there are 5 years in between where you're hot before when you're young, you're old, and then you get the little hot sandwich.
And the thing is Berg and I are proving right now, short hair and a beard is just the look right now.
Yeah, it's in.
It's in.
It's in.
Short hair and
it's
a
always
beard.
in.
Send me to see.
It's never a problem. It's always in.
So basically, we've got 2 true crime aspiring filmmakers. They return to the male in the relationship's hometown. They have some kind of, the mom's like overly sweet, says some problematic things, people of that generation, kind of what you get whenever you go to your hometown. You're like, you go to your friend's house and his dad stops by and he's like, how you doing? What's it like out in Hollywood? A lot of Latinos? And you're like, well, yes, there are. There's a lot of everybody out there because unlike this area of the country, there's some general acceptance.
Yeah,
so,
the mom's problematic stuff felt more like true ignorance rather than hateful.
Yeah.
Like,
she just seems like a kind of like a sweet lady who lives in a random place where there may or may not be a Loch Ness monster nearby.
That's what I was hoping for, but then I keep forgetting what this. I thought this show was going to end like Goosebumps.
Yeah,
like an adult R.L. Stein.
Yeah.
You remember like that episode? Like those episodes would end with like, the planet we're going to is Earth because we've secretly all been on an alien planet. I thought in the end it was going to be like, because the show centers around the girlfriend finding out that this town had horrific murders, and then there was this guy
deciding that's a juicy topic for a
Ian
documentary.
Aaron or Ian
Aiden or something.
And her boyfriend's dad was the local. Her boyfriend's dad was the local cop who sort of caught him. and ended up sort of he got shot. He ended up getting infection and dying. So the boyfriend is really conflicted because he's like, I don't know if I want to make a documentary that sort of leads up to my dad dying. The girlfriend is like, oh yeah, this is like great. This is gonna make for a great documentary. The friend is like, our town's dying. We need to do something to bring people back. I'm Podrick Payne from Game of Thrones.
Yeah, I couldn't stop getting laid in that last season. So basically, then the big concern is that the mother is going to be too traumatized, and she is very willing to talk on camera, which, as we soon find out, is because it's a very nefarious reason.
Yes.
Yeah, but I love like she has a line delivery. Like I want to go back and watch it a second time because she has a line delivery where she's basically like, this kid who you think murdered all these people really messed things up for us. Like my husband and I were so happy. There were good times. And then this like local guy got caught murdering a bunch of people, and it really like messed up our fun times. You realize she's not talking about what you're thinking.
Yeah, no, you realize once you've seen the end of the episode, it's like, oh, if he hadn't mouthed off in that car,
exactly.
And you're thinking like, oh, he was a bad man.
Yeah. And it's really great. I love anytime a sweet little old lady turns out to not be a sweet little old lady.
For it.
Yeah. Like my grandma. May she rest in paradise. Sarah Hachadorian says, CMFO, Chief Mandatory Fun Officer. Ooh, also love Gina's nail color.
Oh my gosh, thank
Scroll
you.
Nails.
It's called Neverland.
Oh, it is.
I wanted to remind people of terrible things.
Oh, that Neverland. I didn't know they were making cosmetics based on that. Was that the Ferris wheel where he took his chimp? And Macaulay. Gotham Knights 007. What a mashup. Roosterfuck. Is this the unrated version of Top Gun?
Next sequel. Even bigger budget, and Tom Cruise does all his own stunts.
I hope so. I hope he invades a nation. They're like, we gave Tom active weapons. He flew into the no-fly zone, and he bombed Chechnya. Is that a real country anymore? I don't know.
It's a region. Yeah. I believe it's a region.
Yeah, you're right.
Yeah.
Thank God smart people work for this company because I am testing way below grade level still, and I'm not even in a grade. Ryan Painter says, I find it so strange how obsessed we are with true crime society. Here's my thing. True crime, I have a tough time separating like my own personal feelings from the things that I watch. Things stay with me. Maybe I'm too sensitive. Maybe I'm not on the right medications. I don't know. So like if I watch a brutal true crime that is about like a bunch of women being murdered, it upsets me, or a bunch of men. Anyone being murdered upsets me, just to be clear. But I'm all about the ladies. But I recently read some articles from the perspective of the women, that the girls from My Favorite Murder, and all things about the empowerment of watching it. And I'm like, you know what? It doesn't matter if I don't need to watch like The Curious Case of like whatever. Emma Grace or whatever, the one that's out now about the girl from Orphan, or I don't need to watch like every single murder thing that comes out. If it's somehow helping other people, and it's not hurting people, it's fine. It's when the families speak out and go,
and please don't make this, and everyone's like,
sorry, I need a season 2.
Yeah, I mean, I've read similar things about how it can be empowering for certain audiences, and it's like, hey, great, if it helps them, great. It's not for me.
Right.
Yeah, it's also not as the woman up here, and all these articles
What?
are like, you guys, look at my nail color.
We are in Neverland.
Woman reveal, guys. This is Gina.
I'm a scroll and a woman. I can be both. It's 2023.
Oh my god.
You're a scrummin'?
Yeah, I'm a scrummin'.
You're a real scrumbag.
She came in and she was a scrummin'. Yeah, it's also not for me. I get that some people are like, women feel safer when they can know all the details of it, but you can feel safer when you're like watching a fake one too.
Yeah. Yeah, just watch can't remember the name, Mayor of Easttown.
Yeah, there you go.
Mayor of Easttown.
I love Mayor of Easttown.
Yeah. Watch that one.
Yeah.
Make it up. Uncles banging nieces, or whatever that sick plotline was.
It was something along those lines,
I think I vaguely remember that.
Yeah.
Just in time for Christmas. Also, it does create a bit of a fantasy murder league, right? Like comparing how bad one crime is to another.
Are we drafting our fantasy murder league right now?
We're going to hold off on that till next week, but I can see John furiously writing into a Google Doc right now, so I'm very scared that is going to be a real thing. But it's like, if you like the way that guy skinned all those teenagers, you'll love Murder Amongst Manchester. It's great. Just watch for whence the bell tower rings.
Series 2 is it's top notch.
Series 2 is when it really goes to another level. The joke writing is so crisp, you hardly know they're jokes at all.
Yeah.
They're delivered. It's such a dry delivery. Exploitation of tragic events, as we've said, can be, kind of pretty clearly at this point. People have come out and said that this happened. So at this point, for production companies and for studios to continue making this content, they have to it's something they've just said we're fine with doing.
I think it's got to be like who asked for it.
Right.
If it's some exec who has nothing to do with the trauma that was inflicted, who's just like, oh gosh, this little girl getting beheaded in Florida sure is making headlines.
Right.
I like it. All these people are old-timey guys with cigars. Every time Berg pitches something, it's an old-timey.
Every single one of them is old-timey.
Get this woman out of my office. We've been drinking since 9 a.m.
Yeah. I got tobacco juice on my spats again.
From whence the bell tolls needs more mouse titties.
Someone see if we can get Humphrey Bogart in Series 3.
Yeah.
We have the rights to his AI. We bought them from Lauren Bacall before we killed her. Lionel Colorado says if you were in their shoes, when they're about to break into the house with the torture den, would y'all have entered the house to look around like they did?
Yes.
Yeah.
Hard
Yeah.
I've broken into houses like that before. There was a house in my hometown. This is a true story, and this is crazy. And for as much as I'm like, true crime's not for me, I'm about to be a total hypocrite and be like, yum, 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 but listen to this. So in my hometown of Fairfield, Connecticut, which, as you can tell by my everything, is one of the whitest places on the planet.
Ham sandwiches, mayo.
I'm told the sun never shines on Fairfield.
It is. It's a wild scene. But so there's a house there near a public land area called Lake Mohegan.
Is that where the casino is?
The casino is about an hour east. Yeah. So close though, close.
My dad likes that.
Land stolen from the same indigenous people.
Good.
But so there's a house there that in the 80s, like in my lifetime, there was a satanic ritual there where a local woman had given birth in a bathroom. The baby had disappeared and they had found its charred body outside of this house. Like, a couple weeks later, as part of what, it was some kind of like religious or occult ritual or something like that.
Yeah, baby Q.
That happened. The rumor.
No.
Yes.
No.
Yes, we looked it up.
2 points from Gryffindor.
The rumor we heard in high school was that they had opened a portal to hell because the house had burned down. Oh. And so we got as high as only high schoolers can on a weekday.
Which floor? Like the fifth floor?
Weekday?
Drugs.
Like, whoa, dude, we got some swag. It's full of seeds, and we're going to smoke all the resin.
Guys, the Breakroom doesn't condone any drug use.
Oh, no.
But if you're going to do drugs, here's our favorites in order.
Yeah. But so then we got in through the basement. We pried open a basement window. We went in with flashlights, and we crept through the house. It was really creepy until we got to the garage, and when we got to the garage, there was a tree growing up through the roof, which, on top of being very cool, let light in.
Yeah.
And when there was light in, we saw that the garage was covered in graffiti from two warring and very distinct demographics of graffiti artists.
Oh.
One, Nazis. No big surprise.
Okay.
The other, really aggressively anti-Nazi, pro-gay graffiti artist.
Hey!
Okay. I thought for sure one of them was going to be a Marvin the Martian fan.
And a hero comes along.
It was like people being like, here's a swastika and all the hate that goes with it, and then other people being like, we're here, get used to it, we're not leaving this garage.
By the way, this story has all the elements of what parents in the 80s thought was going on.
Yes.
They're trying to summon the devil by killing babies, and the gays are there too. Like this is what people in the 80s thought was going on.
And then we were all Dungeons and Dragons nerds.
Yeah.
Like, oh, cool. But yeah, so for
I was just trying to throw my action figures at trees after I froze them in coffee mugs with ice.
Yeah.
Because I'd have Mr. Freeze John Elway's starting lineup character. Break his damn leg.
Yeah. Yeah.
Anyway, maybe I should be a true crime documentary. Gina.
Yes.
You really put in some work this afternoon.
Yes, you did.
Some
really
references
did.
and
You
Easter
did.
eggs.
I did.
Now, guys, Gina, I kid you not, in like a span, it was incredible speed. In a span of like 5 minutes, found about 180 Easter eggs. We can't.
Truly.
We can't talk about them all right now, but if you guys are into Black Mirror like we are, and if you like the show, we could do a video. We could put a video out that is all about the Easter eggs. So comment, tweet at us, Instagram at us. Catch me on Bumble. I'm on there. I just put up new photos. Just get me on there. Swipe right. Start a conversation. Let's go have a coffee. And tell me what you want about the Easter egg videos. So, Gina, let's talk about what you found.
Yeah.
Just for sake of timeline, and to give Gina the most credit.
Yes.
I left to get a coffee.
Yes.
And then when I left...
we had matched.
We had matched.
So
yeah, we had matched.
Yeah,
I went on a date with Tommy.
Yeah.
I went down the street to get a coffee. When I went down the street... producer Evan, had said, like, did any of you catch any of these Easter eggs? And Gina was like, I still have 20 minutes left of the show. Before I got back from getting the coffee, Gina, I was like, I caught one Easter egg.
Yeah.
Gina had sent out a list of like 20 things she noticed.
Yeah.
So like, this is truly.
Gina's that kid at the Easter egg hunt that ends up with all the special eggs that have $5 bills in them. And I'm just sitting here eating like stale Reese's. So let's hear about it.
I'm a competitive son of a bitch, and I think I will find them all. So like in the first episode, the Joan is awful. The Streamberry, that's obviously a parody of Netflix, has a whole carousel of shows, and they're all Easter eggs. One has the image from Bandersnatch, if you remember the standalone sort of choose your own adventure. We see the actor from that. There's one called Finding Rittman, which was a reference to the programmer, Colin Rittman, who was also from Bandersnatch. And episode 1 actually teases the documentary that we're about to see in episode 2. They have that documentary on there that they then in episode 2 film.
That's great.
So it's like you gotta go back and rewatch to get all these.
Oh my God! Yes, that's right. Wow, that just clicked in.
Yeah. There's also a show called Sea of Tranquility, which has been a running thing throughout all of. Like they've made that reference at least 5 times throughout all of the seasons, and it's a difficult show to find Easter eggs for because again, British shows they wait 16 years between seasons, but that's why I always rewatch them, and I've caught so many of them. There's some other. There's a song that they sang in 15 Million Merits for the first time, which was Anybody Who Knows What Love Is. That, and then they reuse that at the start of episode 2. There's also like a bunch of newspaper headlines when they're going through the true crime thing.
Yeah, I assumed that was chock full of stuff, but I was eating breakfast when I was watching. And I was like, okay.
Yeah, it is. There's one that says Michael Smart unveils Met police robot dog. We saw the robot dogs in an earlier season. They're not good. Anyone who says all dogs are good and all dogs go to heaven.
Big asterisk for the robot dogs.
Some dogs go straight to hell. Courtesy of me.
Yeah, there's a bunch of them. There's one that says Toon politician Waldo romps to victory in Italy.
Whoa.
So in the timeline, this is before Waldo became president and destroyed
I will say this, the Waldo episode, when I first saw it, I was like, this is not a good episode. And then Trump got elected, and I went back and watched it, and I was like, this is the most prescient piece of TV on the planet.
This seems silly.
Yes.
This is my personal favorite Easter egg, Gina. Whatever happened to Michael Callow? You found out.
Now it says now he runs a zoo, and for anyone who doesn't know who Michael Callow is, he's from the pilot episode, The Guy Who Bangs a Pig.
Yes, the man who went up a hill and came down a pig fucker.
Now he runs a zoo. He's got his pick of the pigs.
See, on Twitch we can say the F word. Can we? I don't know. Maybe we're getting canceled. Let's breeze through a few more of these because I think we got a video here. Go ahead and scroll down a bit for us if you don't mind. Oh, we got one more. Euthanasia. Go ahead, Gina.
Yeah, euthanasia inside Project Junipero. So obviously this episode takes place before Junipero is really up and running. There's also a show on Streamberry in episode 1 called Junipero Dreams. Widely beloved episode of all of it. I think it's everyone's favorite, so they've got to squeeze those Easter eggs in for it whenever they can so they can be like, remember this, go back and watch it.
I don't understand what that is in reference to.
You said we had a video.
I did?
And then someone typed, we don't have a video, question mark.
When did I say we have a video?
I think your brain said video and
you
meant
said
something
else.
else.
I think we have a video. I think you meant another Easter egg.
I mean, we want to make a video for the Easter eggs.
In your mind, it made sense.
Guys, it's been a long week of content. I'm sorry. And guess what? It's Friday, so we're done. It's not. It's Thursday. I've thought it's been Friday since Tuesday.
We're watching Tommy's brain slowly melt.
Again, the best way to support the channel is to Venmo me directly so I can go get some medical care. I feel good, guys. Any final thoughts you want to contribute to this?
I really like both these episodes.
Yeah.
Genuinely, like the first episode felt like a funny take on kind of the dark Black Mirror stuff, and the second episode felt like a dark, non-technological take on just aren't people terrible?
Yeah.
You know, but I thought they were both really fun. I enjoyed them both.
Yeah, I'm looking forward to going home, telling my 2 cats that this is what we're watching tonight. It's not sad, you guys. Stop thinking that.
Her 2 cats are actually humans she keeps with collars around them.
Yeah, obviously. Was that not clear? I forced
One's
you.
name is
Loch
Felix
Henry
and
kind of
one's name is
situation.
Tom.
Yeah, I'm the monster in this situation.
Well, that's going to be it for us. I'm going to go to urgent care. Make sure to give us a follow here on Twitch. Subscribe to the Breakroom channel on YouTube where you can catch cut downs and replays of all of our streams as well as exclusive content and some celebrity interviews. Let me plug a little bit of what we got coming up tomorrow. We're flashing everybody. We're talking about The Flash. We're also talking a little bit about Braving the Elements and Elemental, Pixar's newest banger of an animated film. And oh, look at the Pixar mug. Wow, what a thoughtful person brought that into the office.
I think it was maybe John?
Might have been John. As always, I'd like to apologize to my mother for everything I said on the show today. I truly apologize. I'm gonna go to journalism school. I also recently signed up for Adam Carolla and Jay Leno's comedy camp.
Hey, everybody's fantasy.
Yeah. Hey, have you ever wanted to suffer through 5 days of just being told bad information? If you want to waste the money on it, just again, Venmo me. Guys, we got to get out of here. The future is bleak on Black Mirror, but the future is right on the break room, baby. For Bird and Gina, it is I, Thomas Michael Bechtold. I love you all very much. Adieu.